Imagine having a personal website that actually is inspired by your job title. That means if you are a business analyst, your website might look like a spreadsheet. So now if you're applying for jobs, I'm pretty sure you as a candidate will stand out. Now the cool thing is, to make this happen, you don't have to write a single line of code. So in this video I will show you how to create your own personal website, and we will even host it for free on the internet. That means it will be live and everyone with a link can access your website. For that we will be using a text editor called Windsurf. Now Windsurf even has a free version available, so you can start following along without spending any money. Alright, and with that said, let's jump right in and build your personal website. Alright, so let us get started. So here I have an empty folder and I will open up Windsurf. Now you might be asking why I'm using Windsurf and not Cursor or Lovable. The answer is quite simple. I haven't tried them, so I only use Windsurf. And yeah, I'm using here the Pro version, so the paid version of Windsurf. So that means I have access to 𝗟𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗬 Sonnet. But of course you can also try it out with the free version to see what kind of results you're getting. Alright, so to save us a little bit of time, I prepared already the prompt. I'm a data analyst looking for a job, and that is why I want to build an interactive portfolio website. It should be a one-pager with an Excel-inspired theme to make it unique, along with a touch of gamification. The website should include an easily configurable section in the code where the users can simply paste in links, adjust text, and make some changes without touching the main logic. So I think this one here is quite important because I don't want to go into all the details of the code and then trying to figure out where to do the changes. I think it might make sense if we just have one section where we can just, adjust it. The name, the job title, the different kind of projects I've worked on. So I think that might make it a little bit easier. Then I said use only HTML, Tailwind CSS and JavaScript. Now here I've said Tailwind CSS, and that's because I don't want the AI to write all the CSS code from scratch, because Tailwind CSS, as you might know already, it's quite popular and you can save yourself a lot of time. So instead of writing everything from scratch, the AI should just use Tailwind CSS. And also the same for JavaScript. If there's already some JavaScript package available, it should use it. So for example, for some interactive elements. Alright, and then also here I've said it should be mobile responsive. Now on the website I also want to have a contact form, and I want to use this contact form or the data from the contact form and send it to a webhook. I will show you why later when we are coming to it. And also here I want a place where I can put my webhook URL. And lastly, I also said to the AI that it should create the website in small chunks. Because what I have noticed, if it tries to do everything at once, especially now when we are starting from scratch, it always gets an error. So it just tries to write a lot of code and then in the middle it just stops. So typically what I find, it's best to just say to build the website in smaller chunks. Alright, but anyway, let's press enter and see how far we can get. Alright, so first it wants to do create some folders, so I will accept it. And this doesn't work on Windows, I guess, so let's try it again. And by the way, I'm just clicking here on accept on everything. So I'm just too lazy to read everything through what it's trying to do, but we can see already. So we have like 3 folders now: CSS, images, and JavaScript. So that's a good start, I guess. And now we are going on to the index.html. And by the way, this might take some time. I will speed up the video for you. So I will still be here in the picture, drinking coffee and doing maybe something else on my other screen. So see you in a bit. Alright, so I've just seen here there's an error creating the index.html. That's not a good start. But let's see. It's trying to figure out what's the error. I think it just tries it again. So let's see what happens. Alright, so let's see. We've got the HTML file already, and now it's going to continue with the CSS file. I can see already a lot of green, so because of the Excel-inspired theme. So really curious how that looks like. Yeah, and I think here we can also see like the Tailwind CSS classes, and also it seems it will be mobile responsive because we can also see already like the mobile menu button, mobile menu here. So yeah, let's see. Okay, It also finished the styles.css and now it's going to continue with the JavaScript. So let's see. And then also like that it has all the comments. So we've got here the main content, the project section, and I guess at the bottom there might be like contact form maybe. Here's a footer, the different projects. Yeah, let's see. I mean, later on we can still adjust it and maybe add things or remove things. So let's see. All right. So I think we also got the JavaScript now, and now it's going back to the HTML file. Okay, and here it's now saying it wants to create the contact form. By the way, I'm just answering some comments here on YouTube. That's, by the way, also the fun part of vibe coding, I think, because sometimes if I'm having an idea, I just write the prompt and let the AI do its thing. And then I just like grab a coffee or do something else and just leave it run on my second monitor. And once it's finished, I just come back and see what we've got. I think it's pretty amazing. I mean, before Windsurf, I always use ChatGPT. So the names, if I have an idea, and then just paste in my prompt and then got the code, paste it into my text editor, and then basically going back and forth. But now with those code editors like Windsurf and I guess like Cursor or Lovable or all the others, it's just so convenient that you can do all your work in the text editor because it also has now access to all the code. And if you run into errors, it can actually also see the errors. Okay, now it's going on and saying it wants to implement some gamification elements, whatever that means. I mean, I just put it in there to make it a little bit more unique because usually, as you know, if you have a portfolio website, it's nothing really unique, right? It's like always the same. You've got like your name, what you're good at, then the projects, a contact form, and obviously like a button to download your CV. So I thought maybe let's do it a little bit different, go with an Excel theme and also, yeah, with some gamification. Let's see how it turns out. Okay, I'm just clicking around a little bit here and I can see already in the main JavaScript file, this will be our configuration later on, I guess. So we've got the name, the title, the bio, email, phone, location, social links, always useful. So LinkedIn, GitHub, Twitter. Okay, nowadays I think it's called X. Then the resume link, the webhook URL, which we need. By the way, here also you can see there's an error and it will just try it again. Let's see. Then we've got the skills, Excel, SQL, Tableau, Python, R, Power BI, data visualization, statistical analysis. It's quite a lot. What I can see already here, I guess it's giving like different scores here, proficiency levels, 0 to 100. I personally don't like it. So it's like rating yourself. And then why would you rate Tableau 85% and Python 80? Because Python, there's so much to learn. So this I don't like, but we can do this later once we see the full website. Then 3 projects, which is good. Description, analyze 5 years of sales. Yeah, I like this already text. So what I used, Excel and Power BI, Python, SQL. Okay, I think we're almost done. It's now creates like the README file. And I'm really curious how this turns out. All right, then we've got the experience. Yeah, it's like a digital CV basically. So different companies listed here. Yeah, with a timeline. I like it. Education, achievements. Yeah, and the rest, no idea. But let's see. Okay, I've got the README and now it's trying to set up the local server and let's see what happens. Let's open it. It's opening on my other screen here. Let's see. Let's see what we've got. All right, so okay. Okay, that's just so fun. I really love it. It's like the little toast messages up there. Anyways, let's start maybe from the top. So fun. Really love it. So obviously we can see it's like a lot of green because of the Excel theme. All right, so we've got the portfolio, the Excel is X, which is fun. We've got some little buttons here, like the navigation menu of Excel, file, home, insert, data view. Yeah, and then we've got like the Excel range A1, about me. Yeah, download resume. Obviously we haven't uploaded anything, but I like it that it's right on top. So you've got your name, write a little bit about yourself, and then if someone really wants to have the traditional way to get to know you, they can just download your CV and take it from there. I like it. So this one here is a call to action. I think that's fine. I mean, we could also have like a secondary button here maybe to go to the contact form, but let's see. All right. Next, we've got the projects. Yeah, I like the text here. Maybe an image would be also nice. And if I click on view details, okay, you just get like a little notification. I think this maybe we need to change. Maybe to link it. I can see it already. Okay, maybe it's already linking, but currently we haven't set up the links, I guess. Yeah, then we've got the skills. And I think if we reload it, yeah, we've got like a little animation, which is cool. But as I said, I don't really like the proficiency, like my self-rating here. So let's remove this. This is so cool, I think. Like the experience, it's like a real Excel table, right? So we've got the different columns, company, position, period, description. I think this is super fun. Seriously. Same for education. This I don't like if I'm hovering. It's like, it's really attention grabbing, like this yellow. And I'm not quite sure if we really want to have like this amount of attention just to this. Right, and then down here, I think this looks really clean. So we've got our contact form and with the different links here. And if I'm hovering it, you can see we've got the links to GitHub here and Twitter. Then even got the icons, which is pretty nice. So and if I'm trying to send a message, we even got some form validation, which is cool. So let's try it out. Okay, we've got like the little achievements here. I think that might be the gamification part actually, because of the achievements. Yeah, now I get it. Now I get it. So it's because of that. So maybe we need to remove it to keep it a little bit more professional. And there's like the error, I guess, because we haven't set up the webhook yet. So yeah, I think let's see if the navigation is working. No, doesn't work. So let's fix it one by one. I put the website here on my second screen. You can't see it, but let's just list down the things here I want to change. Let's be polite. Say thank you. It looks great already. Now a couple of issues and change requests. By the way, typically I don't pay too much attention to my grammar and also to my spelling because anyway, the AI is smart enough to figure out what I mean. And I'm not native English, so excuse me for that. But anyway, so let's start with the header. It's saying the navigation does not work. Yeah, I think for the projects, we just need to update the links. Or let's actually put it here so that you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah. For the projects, I think it would be nice to maybe also have an image. Yeah, let's put it in there. Next, we've got the skills section. Get rid of the self-rating. Just list the skills and get rid of R and Tableau. And I think perhaps it would be nice to have some icons here. So perhaps you can use some icons here for the different skills, technologies. Right. Yeah, then experience. I really like this one with the Excel theme here. Same for education. And I think we can have the same style for the achievements and certification. Yeah, let's do this. So let me copy this. A little bit too lazy for typing. Have the same Excel style I like in the education and experience section. Okay, and lastly, I think what we can do with the gamification, I like the idea, but now maybe it doesn't look really professional. I think we've got already the unique touch with the whole Excel theme, so I think we don't need to overdo it. Let's say it's a bit too much gamification. Just remove the gamification elements. Yeah, let's see what we've got. Okay, now It's going to restart the server. And let's see. Again, it's opening up on my second screen. I'll move it over here. And let's see what we've got. All right, so navigation already works for the projects, not for the skills. Oh no, it also works for the skills. Got the experience and also the contact. Yeah, great. So this already works. Yeah, now we've got the image placeholder here. I think that's cool. If I click on it, yeah, because we haven't set any links, it doesn't work. All right, so it also used like the icons here. Yeah, I mean, we could use obviously like the real icons, so for like the Excel icon and SQL, but I think this might be actually a little bit better, because if we use like the real icons, it might break a little bit like the overall theme, because now we've got like this green, and it basically just applied the same green also for the icons, which I kind of like. All right. Yeah. I'm really happy with the website. So let's give it another try here. Yeah, I've got the error message, which I can't see because of this one here, but that's fine. I've got the footer. Okay, so we can just adjust the settings a little bit. So let's go back in here and let's go to the settings. Oh, by the way, I will accept all. All right, let's try it out here. My name. Yeah, for the projects, I will just leave it. The experience as well. I might just need to ask here where to put it. And for that, typically, I will switch to chat mode. So in chat mode, it's not going to create any code. So, and we can actually also, if you just highlight this and press Ctrl and L, it will reference it directly in the chat. So I've got my CV as a PDF, and it's called cv.pdf. In which folder do I need to place it, and how to change this line? Okay, so we need to place our CV in the root directory, and then we just need to update it like this. All right, let's do it. So I've got my CV here on my second screen, copy it over, paste it. So we've got this, and then in here we just need to update it to this cv.pdf. All right, and with that, I will refresh it and let's see what we've got. All right, so the name was updated, and then for the resume, nothing happens. So let's see, let me put it next to it and then say, I inputted my CV in the root directory, but when I click the download resume button, nothing happens. Okay, so it's saying it found the issue. It was just a normal button without functionality, and now it's actually adding the functionality to it. Let's see. Yeah, let's open external browser. All right, and here we've got it. So now that works also. Pretty cool. And I think the last step I just want to do is to check if the webhook is working. So basically the idea is here that if someone fills out the form, I might want to send a message to them saying that I received the message, or maybe I will just forward the input to my email client. We can, of course, also have it directly in the code. So that should be also totally fine. And I think you can also ask like the AI how to do it. But I also want to show you another neat way, because anyway, if you're not coding now, we can actually also use no-code tools to combine it basically with our vibe-coded app. So let's do that. So I will go to Pabbly Connect. If you've never heard of Pabbly Connect, then don't worry. It's basically like Zapier or NAN or Make.com. I'm just using Pabbly because they got a lifetime deal. And that means you buy it once and you can use it forever, and you don't have to worry about some subscription, which I'm not really a huge fan of. And here I will just create a new workflow, call it handle form submission portfolio website. All right. And here the trigger event will be a webhook. And now Pabbly Connect is going to give us this webhook URL, which I'm going to copy. And then here, we just paste it in the config section. I think it was on top. Yeah. Let's go here, paste it in there, accept it. And I think we can test it already. So now Pabbly is waiting for the webhook event. So let's try it out. We'll just give it a refresh. All right, send the message. Yeah, I think this is a success message, but I can't see it because this banner is in the way. But anyways, amazing. Okay, we've got it. So this is what I mean. So now we've sent the data from our contact form to Pabbly Connect. So now we've got the subject, the name, the message, and the email. Yeah, now as the next step, we can, for example, here have sending ourselves, for example, an email via Gmail and all those kind of things, or maybe also saving the result in a Google Sheets, whatever you want, basically, without any coding. And I think it's pretty neat. And I'm using it, by the way, also all the time. Pabbly Connect, really useful. All right. But anyways, so now that this is working, obviously you would need to adjust the other things. But for now, I will just leave it. With that, we can publish it to GitHub. And then we can actually also put the website live. So let's do this. Initialize a repository. And here I will say, can even generate a commit message. Let's see what it actually gets. Typically, I would just say initial commit, create Extends portfolio. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's commit it. All right, publish branch. Yeah, portfolio website. Maybe, let's say, 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗦𝗧𝗜𝗢 portfolio website to a public repository. All right, it's uploading it. Let's open it up on GitHub. Yeah, and we've got even the README file, which is pretty neat. But anyways, let's go to settings and then pages, I think. Here for the branch, we will pick the main one. Save. All right. And I think if we go back now here, yeah, it's now pending. This might take a minute. And let me actually check what's the URL. The user ID, 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗧. So my GitHub username and then the repo name, which will be this. So yeah, that's our live website. Now, obviously, you can also create, if we go back to the settings, pages, you can also create like a custom domain. So instead of having like this one here, you can buy your own domain, for example, at Namecheap, and then maybe you have your own name as a domain, and then you can link it. All right, but anyways, yeah, this is our live website. Pretty amazed by this. Projects. Yeah, we didn't update the links for the projects, but that's fine, I guess, and also like the images. But the download button still works and it opens it up. Yeah. All right, I think I will just leave it as is. I just wanted to show you how easy it is just to create like this whole website. And I think it's pretty unique. Just looking at my time here. Now the video you're watching might be shorter, but I'm now roughly almost 50 minutes in and I didn't do anything. I didn't write any single line of code, but we've got like this cool website. By the way, we should also check if it's mobile responsive. So let me make it a little smaller here. Yeah. Oh, I think the menu maybe doesn't work. Yeah. I think this is something still need to go back and change it. But the good thing is also maybe another hint here, or like the last tip. We're using Git here. So if you've never used Git before, it's basically just to save your code and you can always go back to your code. So this makes it now super easy, because if we now continue chatting and say more, for example, fix the mobile menu, and maybe it messes anything else up, which we don't want, you can always revert back to your previous code. So this is super useful if you learn a little bit of Git. Yeah, and I think I will leave it as here. Let me know what you think about this project. I will, of course, leave the link in the description box below. So maybe you can just fork it and just create your own version of it. Or what I encourage you, just to create your own little website, try it out, try different prompts, see what you've got. Yeah, and I wish you happy coding or vibe coding, however you want to call it. All right, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers. Okay, I'm back. So after recording the video, I fixed the mobile menu. So now when I resize the window here, we can see we've got the mobile menu, and now when I click on it, it actually works. So if I navigate to contact, it will scroll down to the contact form. Now I didn't record it, but basically I was just going back to Windsurf and saying that there was an issue with the mobile menu, and then it basically fixed the bug. All right. And then also when we scroll up a little bit, I totally forgot. And now we also have an image about ourselves. I think that's important. And then I also replaced the placeholder images for our different projects. Well, and then I went down a little bit the rabbit hole, because then I've also seen we have our buttons here, but they didn't do anything. So I thought it might be fun to also add some functionality to it. So I asked once again Windsurf to implement some Easter eggs. Well, and it came up with this one. So if I click on File and maybe About, it will show us a little pop-up message. And the same for the other buttons. And for the View button, it's actually changing it to kind of like a dark mode. So I thought that's also fun. I just wanted to mention it because if you're now going to the live website, you will see this functionality already implemented. And as I said, if you don't want to have this URL, you can actually buy your own domain at Namecheap, and then you have to link it. So for that, I will leave an article on how to do it in the description box below. So this is a written article, but if you prefer on video, I will also link a YouTube video which I found, which shows you the setup process. Okay, and now once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.